All right, today we're going to pull back the curtain on a company that's basically become a silent gatekeeper for the entire global economy. I mean, this company collects a toll on almost every single dollar of debt issued around the world.
Just think about that for a second. What if there was one single company, right, sitting at this super critical junction in the financial world, and its whole job was to collect a little fee, a toll, on pretty much every piece of debt issued on the planet? It sounds almost too powerful to be true, doesn't it? But that's the exact business model we're diving into today.
You see, this company is so fundamental, it's been called the standard language protocol for the world's entire financial system. Think of it like HTTP for the internet, or maybe English for global business. It's that universal standard that everybody just has to use to communicate. In this case, it's the language of risk and credit.
And that's where this whole concept comes from, the global debt toll booth. I mean, every single time a government or a big corporation needs to borrow money on the public markets, they've got to pass through this gate. And who's waiting there? Yep, our company, ready to collect its fee, its toll, for providing a service they can't do without. So, who is this mysterious gatekeeper? It's S&P Global. And the reason they have this incredible power is because they operate what's known as a natural monopoly. And trust me, that's a very specific and very, very powerful kind of competitive advantage. Now, a natural monopoly, it's not just about being the biggest kid on the block. It's a really unique market structure where one company can serve the whole market way more efficiently and at a lower cost than anyone else possibly could. That efficiency plus its rock-solid reputation creates this almost impenetrable barrier for any would-be competitors. And get this isn't some luxury service that companies choose to buy. No, it's an absolute necessity. The source material says companies literally beg for these ratings. And why? Because a good rating from S&P can dramatically slash their cost of capital, the interest they have to pay. The fee they give S&P is just a drop in the bucket compared to the mountains of cash they save. So here's how this powerful, self-reinforcing cycle works. A company needs to raise money, so it goes to S&P to get a rating to prove it's a safe bet. That good rating makes their borrowing costs plummet. And boom, S&P collects its toll. This just happens over and over and over again, embedding S&P right into the very heart of the financial system. Okay, let's talk numbers, because this is where you can really see how this all builds into an incredible financial machine. This is where that abstract idea of a monopoly becomes very, very real. So let's just focus on this one number, over 40%. That's been S&P's operating margin. To put that in perspective for you, that is higher than tech giants like Apple or Google. It's just insane. It signals this immense pricing power, basically the ability to charge whatever they want because their service is essential and there's no real substitute. And this isn't some flash in the pan either. The business just shows this incredibly consistent growth. It's a cash flow machine, and it grows whether interest rates are high or low. It really acts less like a financial company that goes up and down with the market and more like an essential utility, like your water or electricity company. You don't really have a choice, you just pay the bill. I mean, with numbers like that, S&P just looks invincible, right? But in the world of finance, nothing is ever truly invincible. So that raises a huge question. Can a business this dominant really last forever? Could a new challenger actually pop up and threaten this seemingly perfect business model? Okay, so this is where we need to talk about something called substitution risk. Now, a substitute isn't a direct competitor trying to do the same thing, just a little better. No, it's a completely different way of doing things that could make the original obsolete. Think cars completely replacing horse-drawn carriages. And the potential substitute on the horizon for S&P's services is the rise of something called private credit. So on one side, you have the public debt markets. That's S&P's kingdom. It's transparent, it's standardized. But on the other hand, you have this rising alternative, private credit. This is where investment funds lend money directly to companies. It's way more customized, it's more opaque, and here's the key, it often doesn't require a traditional S&P rating at all. So this all boils down to one question, doesn't it? How strong is S&P's defense, really? Is their moat, their competitive advantage, truly unbreakable against this new kind of threat? Look, the argument for S&P staying on top is, it's really, really strong. They are at the absolute top of the financial food chain. They are that standard language protocol we keep talking about. And their position as a natural monopoly is just so deeply entrenched in all the rules and all the habits of the financial world.
And that leaves us right here with this massive hanging question. S&P's natural monopoly has given it this almost unbelievable pricing power, but with these new alternatives like private credit starting to bubble up, is that power truly infinite? Will new ways of doing finance eventually find a crack in the gatekeeper's wall and change how the toll is paid? That right there is the billion-dollar question for the future of finance.